Zimbabwe's ruling party will dismiss 93-year-old President Robert Mugabe as its leader and kick him out, stripping its ruler for the last 37 years of one of his final vestiges of authority, the head of the Liberation War veterans says. Speaking to Reuters as he walked into today's extraordinary meeting of ZANU-PF's Central Committee, Chris Musvegwa said Mr. Mugabe was running out of time to negotiate his departure and should leave the country while he could. "We are going all the way," Mr. Musvegwa said. "He is trying to bargain for a dignified exit." Mr. Musvegwa, who has spearheaded a campaign over the last 18 months to remove the only leader Zimbabwe has known, said ZANU-PF would also dismiss Mr. Mugabe's wife Grace as head of its Women's League and reinstate ousted Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa. The former state security chief, known as the Crocodile, is thought to be in line to head an interim post-Mugabe unity government that will focus on rebuilding ties with the outside world and stabilizing an economy in free fall. State television said late on Friday that Mr. Mugabe, who has so far resisted pressure to quit, would meet military commanders who seized power in a de facto coup 4 days ago, along with a Catholic priest who has been mediating between the two sides. Yesterday, hundreds of thousands of people flooded the streets of Harare, singing, dancing and hugging soldiers in an outpouring of elation at Mr. Mugabe's expected overthrow. Under house arrest in his lavish Blue Roof compound, Mr. Mugabe has refused to stand down even as he has watched his support from party, security services and people evaporate in less than 3 days. His nephew, Patrick Joao, told Reuters the elderly leader and his wife were ready to die for what is correct rather than step down in order to legitimize what he described as a coup. But on Harare's streets, few seemed to care about the legal niceties as they heralded a second liberation and spoke of their dreams for political and economic change after 2 decades of deepening repression and hardship. "These are tears of joy," said Frank Mutsadikwa, 34, holding aloft the Zimbabwean flag. "I have been waiting all my life for this day. Free at last, we are free at last." Despite the euphoria, some of Mr. Mugabe's opponents are uneasy about the prominent role played by the military, and fear Zimbabwe might be swapping one army-backed autocrat with another, rather than allowing the people to choose their next leader. Copyright Raw 2017.